So they did like a brain map on me first, and it showed me like my brain in all different stages of like alpha, beta, gamma, like was firing at a rapid pace, like, and which is also associated with conveniently addiction and depression and anxiety and like vivid dreams, which I always have these vivid dreams. I'm like, oh, that's so spot on. It's just cool seeing that, you know. So they were able to set up my neurofeedback to slow my brain down in all those areas.
Sometimes I make mistakes in my life. Life goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, hey, I got wisdom from my papa. He ain't have a lot of money, but he taught me how to keep the perfect posture. So folding under pressure, that ain't something that I'm about to. Crabs in the barrel, I'm just trying to be a lobster. I hit my cousin, told him to call. It's been 12 years and I ain't heard from him at all. Had a little fallout over some money. Damn, ain't it funny how the smartest people be beefing like they some dummies? But I hope you doing swell now. Hope your family well now.
Welcome to Primary Purpose. I'm your host, Pej. Today's special guest is Jessy Lauren. She exemplifies embracing spirituality and reclaiming purpose, which is actually the topic of today. Jessy, who's a native Angeleno, spent 16 years of her life battling addiction, and finally she got out of the grips of addiction and into real recovery. In the 3 years that she's been sober and in recovery, she has now rooted herself in authenticity, in spirituality, and in service. Jessy is the co-owner of a sober living in West Hills, California named Namaste, where she helps women in early recovery and shows them the path into recovery. From Jessy's advocacy for holistic healing, such as breathwork, spirituality, meditation, she likes to incorporate this not only in her own life, but also in the recovery space that she provides for the newcomers. Jessy integrates mind, body, and spirit in every single area of her life. She's also a creative force that was a model for Soul and Clothing. She's currently putting together her own clothing line named Bandit, where she takes flannels and puts designs on them. Jessy has been on other podcasts such as The Hopeaholics and Chasing Heroin. Jessy inspires others with her experience, strength, and hope. Today, she's here to talk about transformation, healing, and freedom. We're going to hear about Jessy and how she walks and talks with purpose. Please welcome Jessy to the show. Welcome, Jessy.
Thank you. Thank you, Pej, for having me here.
I'm happy we finally made this happen.
Me too.
So tell me, who's Jessy? Give me the whole nine.
Okay. You know, it's funny, if you had asked me that question a few years ago, like, it would have been a completely different answer, you know. I got sober 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. April 26, 2022 is my sobriety date. But before then, you know, I feel like who I've been has changed so much. So like, I'll start at the beginning. I was raised by my mom and my dad out here in LA. I was born in West Hollywood, and I have a younger sister, Chelsea. 2 years younger. And when I was 5, my parents divorced, and my dad is Persian, like you.
Yes.
And my mom, she's in a European mutt. She's German, French, Russian. She's like a hippie from New York.
Right.
The fact that the two ever worked was like bizarre to me, because my dad's so like conservative. But you know, my mom showed me like these photo albums from the other day, like when they were younger, and I was like, that's Dad.
How did he look?
They were like dressed up for Halloween, but he was wearing like a very strange like Rocky Horror Picture Show outfit. Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like grabbing some guy's like fake boob because the guy was dressed up as a girl. I'm like, that's Dad? Like, okay, maybe now I see how it worked. Like, he seemed to have been like a little bit more of a wild spirit.
Like he was
younger.
hip.
Yeah. But, you know, when they split up, it was really hard for me, as it is for most kids. Like, I had this fantasy of wanting them to get back together, and kind of lived in that for many years. And my sister, my mom, and I, we moved to New York when I was 5. We lived there for like a year, and then we moved to Ohio. Small town, Ohio. It was actually a beautiful upbringing. I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of great memories there. Very small town, cookie cutter town. I just remember like jumping in the leaves in fall, and like white Christmases. Like,
And your dad stayed in California after
He
all this?
stayed out here, yeah. He would come out for like holidays and like birthdays and like what he could. And then in the summer, my sister and I would go back and be with him in the summer. So there was always like this back and forth. It was kind of like he wasn't really fully in my life yet, you know. And when I was going into 5th grade, my mom ended up having to relocate us again because she worked a really high position in the fashion industry. And she had to move to wherever, you know, the job was located. So she had lost her job in Ohio, and now we had to move to California, which was convenient, right?
Yeah,
she got a job
perfect.
out here.
Yeah.
And so that's, you know, where everything really took off in a good and a bad way. I got my dad back in my life, but
Did you want that?
yeah, I wanted it. My parents both remarried shortly after we moved back. But I like my dad and my stepmom are still together, and I adore her. I adore my stepsister. Like,
Is the stepmom Persian?
yes.
So he married
She's
Persian.
polar opposite than my mom.
Right.
But they're both just like such beautiful, sweet human beings. That's the thing that they do have in common. But yeah, she's Persian. I think my dad was done with like the white crazy hippies after that. He's like, no more of this. You know, so I lived out here with my mom and my sister, and I'm going to school, and had to remake friends and learn all of that again. And I was very innocent, and then I you know, got into high school. I was going into high school, and I had my group of girlfriends, so it was funny too. I remember saying like, they're like, we're going to try weed and alcohol next year, and we're going to have sex. And I'm like,
How old was that? Like 15, 16?
This was like 8th grade going into high school now.
Like 13, 14?
Yeah. And I was like,
Which
I'm
high
not-
school?
Agora High School.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to do any of that. I was like, I'm not going to smoke weed or drink alcohol, and I'm not having sex before marriage. And then I was the one who did all of it, like
Wow.
times 10, you know?
Why?
Why? I always go back to that question, and I've done a lot of work over the years, and I've kind of really narrowed it down to this is what I think happened. My mom lost her mother, so my Nana, she passed away, and then like a year later, my papa, who was living with us at the time, he passed away in our house, and it was on Christmas Eve, and I was there and to witness it, and it was, you know, pretty traumatizing. So after that, my mom got super depressed. She was really close to both her parents, and she started to like drink a lot more and like mix it with Xanax, and she had like suicidal ideations. And she put that on me. I don't think she meant to, but she would.
It was like PTSD that you kind of got from it.
Yeah, and she was like crying out for help, but like I'm a kid. I didn't really know how to help her, you know, and I would just try to, you know, go home. I would like make sure she was okay, and my dad would kind of just dismiss it, you know. He had his own thing going on. He didn't want to worry about that. So I think it was around then, I'm like, I just wanted to get out of myself, because that's when I started to really experiment, you know, and I started smoking weed. And I always say this in like meetings that like, it's funny because I hated weed every time I did it.
Yeah.
But I continued to do it. Who does that to themselves? Right?
Maybe an addict in the making.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
I just, every time I did it, I'm like, why did I do this again to myself?
Yeah.
So I, you know, and then I started drinking, and drinking never got me to where I needed to get, you know. So
Like beer and stuff, or was it heavy
hard
stuff?
liquor.
Hard
I remember
liquor?
walking around like high school parties with like a bottle of 151. Like it has like that weird cap on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like why? Why am I trying to take it to that extreme? Just like, you know,
Yeah.
have a few drinks. But
Were you drinking to get really drunk?
yeah,
Was that
I
the
just
point?
wanted to get out of my head. I wanted to like lose control. I wanted to be one of those girls that could just like be dancing on a table and like acting stupid and not like think about like what other people thought, you know, because it was always like, I was always like, pretty insecure growing up. Like I just always was like wondering if people liked me or if I sounded smart or, you know, if I was pretty enough. So it was just like when I drank, it just helped me just lose any of that, you know?
Yeah. Comfortable in your skin.
Yeah, exactly.
In all areas.
Yeah. More confident and yeah. until the next day where you're like, oh, I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. The regrets.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just, and then the progression just kept happening. At 15 years old, 10th grade, I started to go to raves, like these underground raves in San Bernardino. A group of my friends, we would go, and my ex-boyfriend, and we'd be taking ecstasy and just doing the most out there, and being in places no child should be. I'm like disturbed when I think about the places I was at,
I think I was in those same places probably about a decade and a half before you.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 decades.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's
I
just
know.
like a lot of stuff that goes on there. It's just like not. You're like 15. How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experiencing that. Yep.
So.
So you were doing ecstasy.
Yeah.
Was it called Molly yet, or was it still
No,
called
it was
ecstasy?
ecstasy. It
Yeah.
was the pacifier in your mouth.
Yes.
like-
Yeah. And Vicks and all that stuff
Yes.
that you put on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was making candy bracelets for next weekend. My name was Persian Kitten.
Oh, of course it was.
Yeah. Did you have a rave name?
Peggy Pej.
Peggy.
Or actually DJ Puddles.
Oh my goodness.
Because
I
of the
love that.
puddles in the pipe.
Oh.
Smoking the puddles of
Oh
meth.
my god. I was like thinking cuddle puddle. Yeah, so my mom ended up like catching on to what was going on like a little bit after that.
Were you doing this like all the time?
Every weekend we would go.
Just
yeah.
religiously.
Yeah.
That means a lot of ecstasy.
Yes.
That means a lot of ups and downs because
Yeah.
that stuff will deplete you.
Yeah, and I'm surprised I continued to get good grades through school and kept on like
You were a
this
high school
persona.
student doing this?
Yeah, 10th grade.
Oh my God.
Right. I remember one time like we were driving back and my friend was so high that we missed we had to get off the freeway because we missed like a freeway, overpass. So we got off this exit and it was like a 180 turn and he just like launched us off. Like he didn't make the turn and we were all just laughing. Like that's like, it was just like such a carefree, like nothing could bother me stage of my life. So I think that's what I was searching for, just that freedom, like just to be like, I love everything going on. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Like, even like the crazy stuff, But yeah, so my mom didn't know what was going on. The only reason she found out, I was really good at hiding and like living that double life, was because my boyfriend at the time, we broke up and he left like this album that I made for us, like a scrapbook of rave photos and like tons of other photos.
Evidence.
Yes. On the doorstep and like called the house phone and was like,
intentionally?
yeah.
Oh my God,
where
what a
to
dick.
find- I know. He's dead now, so I can't.
Oh
I
my
feel
God,
bad.
sorry, I take that back. He still set you up.
He did.
Blew
He
your
did.
cover.
And he passed away many, many years after.
Okay.
But yeah, I still always feel bad.
How did he
calling
pass
him
away?
Suicide.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, but he was one of us, but he wasn't treating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
sad, I know.
So then the gig with mom found out.
Mom found out and I was grounded for like the rest of my life, or so she said.
I understand. So you were at mom's house, but dad lived close by to in Agora?
Hollywood Hills. Yeah.
Oh, Hollywood Hills. And how did he feel when he found
Oh
out?
my gosh, he like came over and he like slapped me across the face and was like, "You're not my daughter anymore."
Well, I mean, what did he think of raves? Like, was he like, that's where the party people go and that's where you don't belong?
Well, he saw that like there were pictures of me like making out with girls.
My
There was
God.
pictures of me with like pacifiers in my mouth, with like where it looked like I'm like really out of it, And there were other photos in that scrapbook, like intimate photos.
Yeah.
Between my boyfriend and I.
Oh my God. Talk about a Persian dad's blood pressure going up seeing that shit.
I know.
Oh my
And I had
God.
like piercings and tattoos at that time they didn't know about and they saw from the photos. So it was just
It was all bad.
It was like everything they thought I was just like wiped.
You weren't the little innocent girl anymore.
I wasn't. And so that's when I really decided to like just try to clean up my act, and I started doing coke only instead. I'm like, just coke and alcohol,
Keep it classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got through high school like that, I went to CSUN straight from high school.
Did you finish high school on time and everything?
Finished it on time.
And then what happened at CSUN?
I was still like just like regular partying, as I call it, on the weekends
Yeah.
and stuff, but I was going up to Mammoth a lot at this time because I've always been like a big snowboarder.
Yeah.
And I had a couple friends that lived up there, and these guys I was hanging out with up there, they were smoking oxys, a foil. And so I tried it, and I just like was like, this is where it's at.
How old were you then?
This is
20.
Yeah, like first year of college.
Yeah.
So it was probably like 19. I come back, from Mammoth, and then I end up like finding oxys, so I can continue doing that. And
This was a time when it was real oxys.
real oxys, yeah. The OC 80s and
I remember the
and,
80s.
and Roxys too.
Yeah,
But and then I ended up getting like a dirty doctor in Simi Valley.
I know about them very well.
Yeah. My dad found out about that too.
Oh, of course he did.
And he ended up suing him. Yeah.
Wow. Did the guy get in trouble?
He did. It wasn't just my dad. There was like a bunch of families going
Yes.
up against him. It was like a class action
Yeah.
lawsuit. I guess he had a lot of clients die, and like people would call him and be like, "Stop giving my kids drugs," and he didn't. And
I think I
died.
probably know which doctor you're talking about. But
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah. So that fueled my addiction crazy. I was getting like 300 Roxys a month.
Yeah.
So the reason why my dad found out is because I was using insurance to pay, and I was on his insurance at the time.
Oh my God.
So he was like, "What are all these like?"
Yeah.
Anyways, after that, my parents sent me to rehab.
How old were you when you first went to rehab?
That was 2009.
Straight opiate addiction.
Yeah, for oxys. Yeah.
And so how did all that go?
I did my 30 days.
Yeah.
Thought it was enough. It was highly suggested I stay longer, and I didn't. I ended up leaving, and then I got drunk with a tech that worked there. I know. I was a bad kid. I say that I know he was at fault too, but like I was seeking out these behaviors like on purpose. It was like I tried to do this almost at every treatment center I went to. I would try. It was like a challenge. Let's see if I can, hook up with the tech or hook up, get them to get me drugs or some weird shit. Like I don't know.
Wow.
It's so weird, right? Like what's
You see
that
that
about?
treatment center owners, you guys make sure that you're watching this episode so you know who you're hiring.
Exactly. It happened more than that time. I know it was really sad actually, but I ended up drinking after that, and then my mom had moved back east at this point again for another job.
Yeah.
So she's living in Connecticut, and I go to visit her, and she thinks I'm sober because I just finished the 30 days, and I end up going to meet up with a girlfriend out there. And we go on like this like party bus, and we're drinking, and
Connecticut?
yeah. I met up with a friend in New York.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
they're like so close to
So
each other.
close.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a shorter distance, I feel like, than from where I just drove from.
Yeah. It probably is.
So I end up drinking, and then I'm like, I want to get oxys, and found like these guys on Craigslist, and
Even in Connecticut, they were doing that.
oh yeah. But so I met up with them, and then I decided, I was like, I don't want oxys anymore. I want heroin. I heard about it in rehab.
This is what you thought? And you'd never even done it before?
So I had like smoked it once,
Yeah.
I think, but I wanted to get it and shoot it,
Just like that.
Yeah.
No fear.
No fear.
Whoa.
I've always been very, I guess, maybe
Brave.
naive
Yeah.
in a sense, but brave, but naive. But like, cause like,
Naive and brave together.
yes. And I ended up finding it, like, not through them, because they were like, we don't deal with that. Like, only oxy.
Yeah.
So I just like went on this like venture on my own, and at this point I'm like in Brooklyn, and I like meet up with this like fake cab driver guy, and he's like, I know where you can get it. They sell it off the street here, and he like took me.
Fake cab
Yeah, he
driver?
wasn't like a real cab driver, but he was like pretending to be a cab driver to like make money. I don't even know how
Just
I
like
found
guiding
him.
people to go get things?
Well, I think he was really just trying to give people rides to make money, but like,
Oh, yeah. Okay. It was like pre-Uber.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know where that guy came from. I just remember that he was like not a real cab driver.
The guy.
It's funny, like your memories, like there's only specific things, and then there's like these blank spaces, and you're just like,
Yeah. What was going on there?
yeah. And then so he took me into like a hotel room, and I ended up like Googling how to shoot up.
And being that you were in New York, it was China White.
Yeah. And I didn't die.
I mean, how'd you get the needle and all that?
I Googled out how to do it. I had good veins. I just did it.
On your own without
Yeah.
anyone ever showing you?
Yeah.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah. And then I ended up throwing up like everywhere afterwards, like projectile vomiting. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
I was like, my body does not want this. So that guy left. That took care of that situation because he was like trying to hang around, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, he's trying to be a creeper.
yeah. And so he was like, I'm going to go. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling sick for days after that, you know? And I'm like, this is terrible. But then I went home back to California and I sought it out again, just like I did like the weed. It's like I was on a mission to self-destruct, you know? I don't think I really knew what I was getting myself into, you know, how powerful the needle is.
Yeah.
Because it was like I did it, you know, became an IV user until a little over 3 years ago. So
That long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Long
That
time.
like it carried on for that long.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you lived out here, then you went from the China White to this black tar.
Yeah. So I was doing black tar and then I would start mixing it with meth and it was like goofballs.
Straight up goofballing.
And I think that's maybe what stopped me from like ODing, like the combination.
Yeah.
Because I, you know.
Fast and slow.
Yeah. I just never, I only OD'd once in my life and that was right before I got sober.
And all along, for those years, did mom and dad know how bad you were?
Oh, they knew, yeah. It was breaking their heart.
Did you go to
My-
treatment a bunch of times? Or
So many times I lost count. You know, they even sent me to Pennsylvania. I ran
Karen?
away from there. No, she was looking at that one. It was another one called Clarity Way.
Uh-huh.
And I like came up with this elaborate scheme to get out of there. It was like in the middle of rolling hills. Like
Yeah.
they took your phone away. Like I had no money. I was like, how am I going to get out of this place?
Yeah.
You know? But I figured it out. And then I ended up like taking a Greyhound to like Boston. And then I met up with some guy I had met out here at an AA meeting. He lived in Boston. He's like, you can come live with me. So I just like lived at his place.
So you went to Boston.
And I lived out there for a couple of months. And I
Sober?
started stripping. No, he was an active addict. So
Oh, yeah.
it was perfect. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Yay.
perfect. And so you were stripping in Boston.
Stripping in Boston. And then what? My name?
Exactly. Something Persian.
No. So it was Genesis.
Oh.
Which is funny because one of my best friends in high school, that was her real name.
Yeah.
And I always loved it.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Genesis.
But it's kind of like biblical. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know.
You're totally sinning.
Yeah. So
How long did you...
I just did that for a couple
Dance.
months. I didn't last very long out there. I got fired from both clubs I was working at.
How does a stripper get fired?
So one of them, I took so long getting ready to
Yeah.
like just tweaking, and they didn't really have meth out that way. So I was doing like coke now.
Not yet, they didn't.
Yeah,
They
that's
do
true.
now.
Yeah, I'm sure. So back then they didn't, and I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of coke, and I was just, but it was still like I would just take forever to get ready, and one of the owners was like, "You like don't ever go out there, like
Not on
don't
time for
come
the
back."
song.
Yeah, and then the other one, they actually caught me using in the bathroom.
Like they don't all use.
Literally every chick there was so sad, was like
course.
covered in track marks. It was bad. But yeah, I got fired from both places. So I'm like, it's time to pack it up and go home.
Back
Yeah.
to California?
Yeah. But plus I wasn't living with that guy anymore, right? He and I ended up like getting in an argument, and so he kind of like sent me on my way early on, and I ended up having to just keep bouncing from place to place. Like people I had met, I would just live with them for a few days and then keep going around and around, and it was just exhausting. I couldn't do it, you know. So I came back out here, and yeah, just bouncing back from rehab. My parents did the tough love really well. I was never allowed to live back at home again, you know. So most of the time I was living in motels or you know, at different people's houses, and just a lot of inconsistency.
And were you primarily like in LA, Hollywood, or where?
Yeah, mostly in Hollywood, San Fernando Valley. I have a stupid tattoo on my hand. I've been trying to remove this thing for like probably a year now. I've lasered it and it just doesn't get lighter. I feel
That's
like it
crazy.
gets darker. It's like, no, it's like, you not remove me.
Do it with white ink. You have lighter skin than me.
Yeah. Yeah. So mostly the Valley, but like LA too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
So I didn't really want to get sober. You know, I was okay with what I was doing. I didn't like having I like the fact I didn't have responsibilities or like any kind of like obligations, you know. At this point, I think I was working poker games, underground poker games. I was escorting, which was not good for my soul, but it was good money, you know. And then I ended up like stopping all that, and this is like I was making so much money and I stopped, and I ended up like dating this like crazy abusive guy, and he was like, you can't do any of that, right? So I stopped, and he doesn't have a hustle, and so now we're like living out of his car, and we're just like taking receipts out of trash cans outside of like CVS and like getting the items in the store and like
just to get the money back.
them. Yeah, I'm like, this is how we're making money. This is really not gonna last very long. And then I ended up like just kind of moving on, like, and finding like my niche in like the criminal underworld, you know. And I did end up making a lot of money towards the end of my addiction. And I was able to get like a nice apartment in Marina Del Rey, and I had a Hellcat, and I was never sick, and I was always shopping, and
you were never sick?
no, because I always had money at this
Oh
point.
yeah, just to be able to maintain. Yeah.
I was like, this is, you know, and it was funny because I thought throughout my addiction, like it was always my circumstances that made me like, you know, depressed. It wasn't the drugs, you know, never the drugs.
Yeah.
But once I finally got to this place where I had everything material wise, I realized I'm so depressed and empty and hollow still. Like, and I had like a true awakening at that point, because I'm like, I'm never going to be happy and fulfilled, not until I get sober, you know?
Did you ever think along the way, all that time, there will be one day when I will get sober and not live like this anymore?
Yeah, that was always my thing, is I'm going to go to treatment tomorrow. I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to go in a week. I have all these things I need to get done first. And these things were nothing.
I was the Monday man for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The weekend right now.
Yeah.
Monday, maybe.
Right? There was always something you needed to get done first. But then really in the grand scheme of your life, like none of that was important. Like, you know, I'm lucky I made it to now, you know.
So then what happened after that lifestyle, Marina Del Rey and all that?
Oh, so we ended up getting evicted from that place after like a year and a half.
A little bit of wreckage?
Yeah, so it wasn't like under my name.
Yeah.
But I ended up, this just shows my insanity. Like I ended up going to court to try to fight this eviction, pretending to be someone I'm not, you know. It's like I was so like I was just like delusional, like, you know. I truly feel like I lost. That's why when you ask who's Jessy, it's like I got so involved with like fraud and stuff. I like didn't know who. I remembered other people's socials and not even my own at that point. Like I didn't know who I was anymore. I know that sounds kind of weird, but like I just took on all these different people, and it's like I just forgot who I was. So that was like a lot, you know. And we ended up moving to this like trap house in the Valley after Marina, and that was like the beginning of the end, you know. I knew once I moved back out to the Valley I was going to get arrested again. I was off probation at this point, but I knew it. I just had a feeling. And I ended up, that's what happened. I went to go to Walgreens and to get some rigs, and I was already sick, and these cops pulled me over, or like they tried, and I just went, nope. And I went around them, and I went on a high-speed chase. And it wasn't like a huge elaborate thing. It was like 3 minutes long. Felt like eternity, right? But there were so many cops. I've never seen so many cops in my freaking life. There was a helicopter. It was like, it was funny too, because when they finally got me, I was like, can you guys let me off with a warning?
Oh my God.
I was like, I just was scared because I don't have a valid license. So I just, you know, kept driving. And they're like, we'll talk about it at the station.
Wow.
So I ended up, that case gave me like 18 felony charges
Oh my God.
because I had all that evidence in my car.
Yeah.
So
So much for your criminal lifestyle. Your enterprise. Tanking.
I mean, honestly, like I feel like that moment saved me because I was being so reckless at this point, and the things I was doing were just like I could have gotten in so much more trouble, you know. So thank God I got caught with just evidence on me and not using them in the product, you know, the way I was. And, I ended up, So I went to court, saw that, came back to my trap house and just continued to use. And then I got in trouble again. Got arrested again while I was out in bail, but in another county. And after that, I went to court for, you know, and my attorney was like, you know, they're going to arrest you when you go in there now because you were out in bail and you got in trouble again and they think you're a danger to the public. And I truly believe like I surrendered in that moment because my initial thought was I'm not going in there. I'm not going to get arrested and be dope sick in jail, you know. So I was going to run again, and that's what I was always used to doing was running.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad, just like I could see the despair in my dad's eyes, you know, and I just couldn't do it. So I just walked into court and I was like, fuck it. Whatever happens, happens, you know.
Wow.
And then they ended up giving me house arrest instead.
To live where, though? Whose house?
Well, I went back to that house in the valley.
The trap house?
Yeah. So,
That's where you did house arrest at?
no. So only for a short, like maybe it was like a month or so I was there. Yeah. I ended up, that was after I got put on house arrest. I had my first overdose. And my ex was there and he saved me. But, you know, I was like so terrified after that. I'm
That's
like,
crazy, like after shooting dope for all those years.
I know. I know.
First overdose?
I know. And I think that's
I
why.
imagine there was no fentanyl around.
No, it was, well, there was, I didn't do fentanyl. I mean, at this point everyone was doing it, but
Yeah.
that was always something about me that I was like, I don't need to go do that.
Yeah.
I have what works for me. And
I'll
I'm
do this
okay.
other one with the less
Yeah.
powerful overdose.
Yeah. Like something that you can smoke and it kills you. No, thank you. That's
Yeah.
freaky to me, you know?
Yeah.
So, I was just, thank God I didn't
Yeah.
move on to that, you know? But I did, you know, I just did way too much and I seized out and I turned blue and I stopped breathing and it was like he had to Narcan me and give me CPR and call the paramedics, and it really like scared the hell out of me. I think
Good.
maybe if I was like one of those addicts who had kept ODing and being Narcaned every other day.
Just
and,
getting used to it.
yeah, but it wasn't. It was like a one-time occurrence, so it really scared me and I was like, okay, I need to get help. And I had a staph infection at the time. So I was like, I need to go to the hospital for this.
Yeah.
And my cousin, who's a doctor, he ended up like admitting me into their hospital. And
Really?
I got to get, thank God for him, you know, because I was very anti like going to treatment at this time. Like I guess because I'd been so
You've
many
been so many
times.
times, yeah.
So yeah, this round of sobriety was different. You know, I detoxed in a regular hospital. Those nurses did not know what to do with me. They were like so freaked out. They kept spying on me to make sure I wasn't doing any weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
they would open the door on me when I was in the bathroom just trying to pee. I'm like, can I have some privacy?
Yeah.
They're like, your boyfriend just left. I'm like, he's not bringing me anything.
Yeah, they
like,
were thinking
you know,
that he's bringing you drugs.
yeah. But yeah, after that, my mom let me move in with her. So
Really?
because they're like, you're not going back to that house, and we got evicted from that house too now. So it was like the perfect storm, everything together at one time, you know. I moved in with my mom, and then my ex, he ended up going to treatment like a month after, and it was just like divine timing, and she let him move in with us, which was like crazy because yeah, it was a lot, you know, for her to do that.
Yeah.
But I stayed there I was on house arrest at my mom's for almost 19 months.
Damn.
Or I was around.
Sober?
Yes.
Staying sober the whole
around
time?
my mom and my ex every day for 19 months. Like it was a lot, you know?
Were you doing meetings or anything like that?
On Zoom.
Oh, this was during pandemic.
No. But I couldn't leave the
Oh,
house.
you weren't allowed to leave at all?
They only let me leave for doctor appointments.
Wow.
Everything had to be like I had to send out an email of exactly where I was going, what time I was leaving, what time I'd be back. It was like very like strategic, and like I went to as many doctors as I could though, just so I could get out of the house, you know. And I ended up going to neurofeedback. They allowed me to do that, so I did that like 3 times a week, and I believe that's what got me off antidepressants.
Mm-hmm.
And then the courts approved me to go to outpatient for 6 months.
That's so cool that you said that's what you believe got you off of antidepressants.
Yeah, no, I totally believe it. I got off of antidepressants after that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's supposed to rewire your brain so that you don't need.
I got to learn more about it. I mean, I know about it, but I
Yeah.
don't know that that's a possibility.
Yeah, so they did like a brain map on me first, and it showed me like my brain in all different stages of like alpha, beta, gamma, like was firing at a rapid pace, like, and which is also associated with conveniently addiction and depression and anxiety and like vivid dreams, which I always had these vivid dreams. I'm like, oh, that's so spot on. It's just cool seeing that, you know. Yeah, so they were able to set up my neurofeedback to slow my brain down in all those areas,
Wow.
and that was supposed to get me off the medicine.
So when you got done with that 19 months, then what'd you do?
Well, so I'm still fighting this court case.
Still?
Yeah, the whole that
3 years later?
yes,
My
because
God.
I'm on house arrest fighting the court case, and the judge told we kept going back and forth with like we tried to get me a like mental health diversion. That didn't work for my
Right.
situation, but it did prolong it, and at some point I was just like done prolonging it. I just wanted to have an answer. I'm like, I just want to get this over with because now I'm just losing more time, so what ended up happening was we went to court one day, and the DA was just, this DA did not like me. He wanted to make an example of me. He was like, really, like, even my attorney was like, this guy like does not like you. Like,
Yeah.
he really dislikes you. So just, you need to know that. Oh, kitty. Hi. Come here. Hi. Is her name?
Kitty. That's the name.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the kitty's name is Kitty.
Kitty.
It's another
Oh
person.
my goodness.
So the guy didn't like you.
He didn't like me. So he was like, look, if you guys, we're offering you, 32
One
months.
second. Can we pause for a sec? You guys. Oops. Maddie? I told you guys I'm filming a podcast, and can you please keep it down? There's a ton of noise going on right now. Did you just say mm-hmm? This is like super distracting. Can you hear me?
It's okay.
I realized like right after we started, it was actually kind of blocking your face a little too much. So.
Oh, okay. You both look familiar to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But
Like from anywhere specific or?
I don't know. You both look familiar to me. You guys live out here?
We're from.
Oh, we work in LA. Like, I mean, both lived in LA, and we flow back and forth now.
Yeah, I lived up in LA, like Hollywood area, for like 10 years. And just moved back down here.
I don't know. Maybe I've seen you on like social media or something. I don't know. You both look familiar.
We're all around. We work at a lot. We have like 3 studios up there, and then we work on like a ton of music and a ton of podcasts. So.
Oh, cool.
Nothing against you, just be quiet. Thank you. All right, so we're at the part where the guy doesn't like you.
Yes. Getting to the good part.
He didn't like you because you're half Persian.
Well, he didn't like me, I think, because he just saw me as like this girl who thinks I can just keep getting away with stuff, which I did for a long time.
They're never nice.
No, they aren't.
But
DAs.
sometimes, like,
But judges can be.
judges always can be.
Yeah.
Lots
And-
of times.
And the judge I had was an angel.
Nice.
He was, yeah. My mom wanted to like write him a letter. Okay, I'll get there. But are we back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull that in.
Oh, he put it.
Oh, good. You're good.
Pull it closer though. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, this DA really didn't like me. He wanted to make an example of me. You know, like I had a very extensive arrest history already. But every time I would like the longest I ever did in jail was 2 months. You know, I was always getting out, and I was always going to rehab or just getting like probation, or you know what I mean, like and I already at this point.
You're getting away with murder all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already had like you know, some of the charges I was being charged with this time I had on my record already. I had a GTA on my record before. I had multiple identity thefts on my record before. So it didn't look good, right?
Yeah. No.
But what I did have going for me, which was the truth, is that I am an addict.
Yeah.
And all of these other charges were involved with drugs. And it's like what ends up happening is like I really do become a different person
Yeah.
when I'm using, you know, like I don't have a moral compass. I mean, I do to a certain degree, which was kind of interesting. I remember like stealing people's like packages in mail, and I'd get like, if I got like a Father's Day card or like someone's like medicine, or I would like put it back. And my ex would be like so mad. They're like, your fingerprints are on that. I'm like, I don't care. I'm putting this back, you know, like there was just like certain, like throughout my progression of like addiction and like, you know, crime, I just, you know, we always say, oh, I'll never do that, or I'll never do this.
Yeah, I think those are God-inspired intuitive thoughts. Because there's certain things that I would do where I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Mama taught me better.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I was for a long time. And then I would cross a certain line, and then, you know, eventually at some point, you know, it was pretty much all. I was just like, okay, well, I won't ever like. I would never physically want to hurt someone or like rob someone like that, or, you know, but I guess part of me didn't feel as guilty because the way I was doing it was I felt all these people would get their money back, you know, and like, but the truth is I did harm them. I mean, I ruined people's credits, and that's not something that can just be fixed overnight, you know, and some of these people may have not have gotten their money back, like from different situations and stuff. So I did harm them just because I didn't physically touch them. Like I harmed them in a different way, and like the psychological like effects from that can be very traumatizing. So back to the DA. I think he just saw me as this girl who kept getting away with things, and like he's like, this time she's not gonna get away with it, you know. And we went to court, and he's like, I'm giving you 32 months prison time. If you don't sign for the deal today, it's off the table, and you're gonna get offered more.
My God. And
so we were kind of just like, okay, we don't have a choice. So I signed for it, and you know, I had to be an acceptance. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go to prison. That'll be like a little bit over a year and a half I'll have to do. I was trying to think of all the positive things. Like, I'll go to fire camp if I can. I'll get super fit, you know. And
you said 32 months? Mm-hmm. That's actually almost 3 years.
Yeah, but you would do like half time.
Yeah, half time. Okay, yeah.
So that's how I was looking at it. And I was, you know, I did go home that day, and I was super depressed, and I think my parents were taking it harder than me, but I was like, you know, fuck this. I'm just going to end up using. You know, I'm just going to use. Why am I staying sober?
Yeah.
But then I was like, does that mean I just stayed sober for this? Like, does that mean I really didn't want it? You know? And I challenged myself, and I was like, I'm not gonna get high. What is that gonna do? You know, I can continue to stay sober. I'll be sober in prison. I will help women if I can in there.
Wow.
You know, I'll be a tool. You know,
I love that.
Yeah. And I'm so glad I didn't end up using and going out and running away and trying to cut my ankle monitor off, because I could have done that.
Yeah.
You know. And then just been on the run, and then I was like, I'm gonna let's escape to another, you know, state or
country.
Whatever. Yeah, or country. And my dad's like, do you really want to do that for like a year and a half the total of time you'd have to do? I'm like, that's true. If it was, I'm like, maybe if it was like 10 years, then okay, I would do that. He's like, yeah, if it was 10 years, I'd help you go.
Yeah.
And so I had like two more months to like, you know, turn myself in. So I just like really threw myself into the steps. I wanted to get to at least my amends before I went.
Yeah.
And I did, you know, I had a beautiful sponsorship family. And even though saw them mostly on Zoom, like they would sometimes bring the meeting to my house, and I took my first year cake
Oh,
at home.
because you weren't allowed to leave. That's so cool.
Yeah. I took my first year cake at home with like my family and them. And, yeah, it was, they really carried me through all that. They prayed over me every time before I went to court. And I just really started to form these bonds with women that I never had before. Maybe I did in high school, but this was different.
Powerful.
Yeah.
This is much more
Yes. Yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah. So and the fact that I was able to allow them to show me that love and accept it, because like I said, over the years of doing all the things I did, I really didn't like myself anymore. And I didn't think I was worthy of having friendships like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't think I was worthy of having people care about me in that way. And part of me did think I deserved to go to prison, you know, because I was like, look, I did do all these things.
Yeah.
I should go, but I didn't want to. Who wants to, you know? And I got sober at 33. So I'm like, you know, at 34, 35 at this point, and I'm like, dude, I'm never going to end up having a family, and I really want kids, and or even just one kid at this point. Like, so I just, I took this was out of my control, so I just did what I could that was in my control.
Yeah.
And that was working on myself while I was sober and still home. And then the other thing I did was I ended up going in, like, even freezing my eggs, because I was like, look, I'm not going to let this, stop me.
Yeah.
So I just, like I said, I did everything I could to help myself in that situation. And I went back to court to turn myself in. And it was just like this crazy spiritual thing that happened that day. Because when my attorney kept saying, look, we're going to try to get the judge to give you credit for your house arrest, but he may not, because there's like a fine line where it's like, you don't have to be granted the credit. So I even did my own investigating to like give stuff to my attorney, like, look, use this in there. Like, these are cases where it was similar and they did get granted,
Yeah.
So we put a good case together, and we went in there, and the DA wasn't there this day. The mean DA. It was some woman.
So what does that mean?
So
Because they don't
she
show
wasn't as familiar with the case, so she didn't really she wasn't like emotionally invested in it like the way he was, and she wasn't like that familiar with what was going on. So
you skated?
So what ended up happening was my attorney and the DA are going back and forth, like, to the judge, can you please give her the credits? And she's like, no, she was fighting against it. And then she even like
the DA always
yeah.
does. Yeah.
And then at some point, the judge was like, we're going to give it to her. And then she's like, well, no, Your Honor, look. And she even like pulled up some like law and was like, so, this says that you can da, 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 da. And he like just looks at her and she goes, okay, I submit, Your Honor.
No way.
Yes.
That is a God shot and a half.
I know. He, like I said, he was an angel. And I think he saw how like, I just
compassion.
Yeah, and he saw I came from a good family. I had all these people that wrote me letters. Like, I was truly trying to change,
Plus, you stayed sober that one time.
Yeah, I stayed sober this whole time.
And you got like involved in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
You said you wanted to get to your amends.
Yeah, yeah. So they calculated it up, and it was like overtime served.
Yeah, because all those that is overtime served.
Yeah.
If you would have got on a good behavior.
Yeah. So, I just remember being up there going like, what? Because it kept going back and forth. Yes, no. And then when he finally, gave me the dates and he's like, you're going to go straight to parole status. And I just like couldn't believe it. But, I felt the presence of God up there. I truly did, because I was so calm. You think your like stomach would be like, anxiety. And like, I just was so calm and like in acceptance, because I kept praying, God, give me the ability to accept whatever happens.
So you were already a deep believer at this time.
Yes, because I did find God through like my step work during this process, and I always kind of believed in something, and I still say that I don't have a full understanding of what my God
I don't
is.
think we ever do.
Yeah, I just
I
know
don't think we're
it's-
supposed to.
that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
If we did,
God
then-
is too big for us to understand.
exactly. It's beyond our comprehension.
Yeah.
I just know that something was looking out for me, and
Most definitely.
And I felt
Dodged
that
the
day.
cannonball.
Yeah. I felt that day, and I just remember hearing my mom sobbing with relief, and even my dad had tears in his eyes.
They were
And-
both sitting there
Yeah, they were sitting back there. Yeah.
next to each other.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they
like-
get along. They're friends.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I walked out of court and they took my ankle monitor off, and I was just like,
They took it off.
yeah, I was just free.
This is such an inspirational story.
Thank you. It was,
For many reasons. I'm working on a case right now with a Persian girl that's ducking and dodging, that was caught up in everything you talked of. I hope she sees this one day,
yeah.
because there's so much hope, because she's caught up in the easy money portion.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I want to actually, there's questions. I have questions.
Okay.
Lots. So, well, I think you already touched on it. What was your rock bottom, and what finally made you say enough is enough?
Well, I feel like I had two rock bottoms. The first one was when I realized that I will not be happy and fulfilled if I'm using.
Yeah.
Even though I was not in a actual rock bottom physically.
Yeah.
That was one of them for sure. And then I also during that time I became septic. So I like literally almost died. And so I guess that kind of like really put things into perspective at the time for me too, like
Your physical
yeah.
body was
Yeah.
telling you things.
Yes.
No, also, I do want to say, like, this intervention team I'm part of, like, we have a lot of parents that say, well, don't they have to hit rock bottom? And I remember when I was a newcomer, I'm 18 years sober now, I used to hear this saying, this one guy would say, every bottom has a trap door. Because I've had a lot of rock bottoms, jails, institutions, all this stuff. But when you have that spiritual bottom, that's the one.
Yeah. And that's what I felt like it was, It was a spiritual bottom.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how did spirituality become a game changer in your recovery journey?
Okay, so I'll share this too. So like after I got off house arrest and everything was going good, I went right straight to parole, and then they dropped me down to probation, and everything was going great. My life just blossomed and blew up in the best way, and it was like, so that happened in November, and then the next coming up January or February, I end up getting arrested in sobriety, coming home from Big Bear, because I got pulled over and I had a warrant in Big Bear, and it was for that other case that had happened. Remember I said
Past case.
Yeah, that they had dropped it before, and then they refiled on me. So here I am. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go through all this again. I just got off of this huge thing, and now I have another court case to deal with. So I really had to lean into God again.
Yeah.
And it's just like I went, and they ended up like tying in that case with the last one and giving me time served for it again.
So again, you got off.
Again. And I'm like, okay, God, I see you. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Those are spiritual experiences.
They truly are. It's because I feel like when you have to choose like faith over fear, that's where that's where God really shows up. It's like in like the hard areas, it's when you really have to put faith into something and you don't know the outcome. That's when I feel most connected.
Okay, what's one myth about addiction or recovery that you wish more people would understand or understood?
Ooh, that's a good one. Like a misconception of
Sure.
recovery?
Yeah.
Maybe like people say you won't have fun in recovery.
Do you have fun in recovery?
I have so much fun.
Name some shit.
Okay, so I wasn't having fun in my addiction anymore. Like towards the end of it, that was just misery. Like this is fun. Like living and partaking in life.
Right.
I go snowboarding all the time.
Yeah.
Which ended up to me shattering my leg.
Yeah.
But
That was
even
that was an innocent injury.
Yes, and that was doing something I loved, having fun.
And you will do it again.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
But this leg thing that is another thing that like I've really had to like lean into God again throughout that, but
Yeah.
snowboarding, hiking. I love going to like the gym. I love doing like these like wellness events. Like my girlfriends and I go to like these cold plunge parties.
Yeah.
Like you think it's not like, who thinks that's fun getting in ice water, but like just pushing your limits and in a good way, and seeing how much like you can take in a healthy manner. I love going to shows. I just went to a concert last weekend.
Yeah.
I love going to festivals. Like,
Who would you see at the concert?
so I went with my boyfriend. It's more of his like music.
Yeah.
But I went to go see Kill Switch Engage because I love them since I was in high school.
Nice.
But yeah, it's, so I go to shows all the time. I go to festivals. Like that doesn't stop when you get sober. It doesn't have
you
to.
can still go to that stuff
Some
and stay
people,
sober.
feel like that you can't though. Like I've had an sponsor tell me that they didn't think that was like a good place, for people to go to. But that's how some people want to do their recovery, and that's okay. But for me, I need that freedom. I need to be able to go to wherever
I mean, there's
I
the
wanna
consciousness
go.
group that goes to raves.
Yeah.
You know about them?
I've been to their tent.
Have you?
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I went to Lightning in a Bottle
Oh, yeah.
a couple months ago, and there was I don't know if it was consciousness group at this one, but it was called Lightning Without a Bottle.
Yeah, they have another sober movement there.
Yeah.
Yep. You talk about holistic healing. What's one unconventional practice that actually changed your life?
So I feel like in the beginning, I always hated meditation, but I have really wanted to dive deeper into that lately. I do a lot of meditation, and I do a lot of like binaural beats and like subliminal affirmations. I really believe in like programming your brain in that way. And then I've just started recently in like the last year getting into breathwork more too.
I love breath work.
It's magical.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's other realms of your mind.
Yeah. I mean, I brought it to my sober living,
Yeah.
and the breakthroughs some of these women had were just incredible. Like, I don't know how to have words for it. Yeah.
How do you stay grounded when life gets chaotic or overwhelming?
I think my support system is what, the relationships I have. Like, I have a handful of like women that I know I can call at any time, and they will be there for me. And that's really what I've had to do over the last few months after I shattered my leg is, because life slowed down, but it was more chaotic in the sense that like my mind was just going again, and I really needed those relationships to ground me.
What advice would you give to someone who feels like they've already tried everything and nothing's working or worked? And what have you given, or what would you give, advice-wise?
I would say like that I was that person who believed that,
Like a chronic relapser?
Yeah, I was a chronic relapser, but I had to get to a point where it was like, I had nothing else left to lose. You can always go back. As they say, your misery will be refunded,
Yeah.
So I think you really have to just give yourself a chance. You have to give yourself a long enough to get past those cravings and like, allow your mind and your body to heal.
Yeah.
It takes time. Sometimes it takes a lot more time for one person than it does the other. But I just would say, push through until you find the relief. Because if you just keep going back, it just keeps getting harder. I mean, the more I relapsed, I just lost hope.
Yeah. You went from addiction to entrepreneur. What inspired you to create Broken Bandit?
Oh, Broken Bandit.
And tell us about that a little bit. What is that?
So that's my flannel line that I've been working on. I haven't released it yet, but it's upcycled flannels that I like.
What does upcycled mean? Recycled?
I'll take like vintage flannels and I'll find like interesting, like most of them come off of other t-shirts, like graphics, like, one of a kind or kind of like edgy sayings or just like
So,
there's
so
one
you'll
that,
take a flannel that was already a flannel and add to it?
yes, so I'll add like the t-shirt on it. I'll sew it on the back with like unique stitching. I'll add studs to it. I'll distress it even more. I'll like bleach the flannel or spray it with paint.
How do you do this? But with your own hands? You yourself?
Yeah.
You're artistic like that.
Yeah, I've always been an artist. I can draw, I can write. My mom's an artist, so I've always took
Oh
after
yeah,
her.
she was in that.
Yeah, she's a fashion designer. She can draw portraits amazingly. So, and I can draw portraits too. I just, I've always had that artistic touch. But you know, I was trying to like grow up. I was trying to like do this other thing for my dad. You know,
Yeah.
a Persian dad. He wanted me to be like a doctor, a lawyer, pharmacist, one of those. So
Typical.
yeah,
Same.
but he's proud of me now, and that's what matters.
That's definitely what matters.
He tells me he's proud of me, and it just
Yeah.
it's everything.
What's the hardest truth you had to face about yourself in early recovery?
So I remember hearing, not this recovery, but so I had 9 months at one point before this. And I remember my therapist there was like, you are arrogant. You're an arrogant person and you're entitled. And I never had someone tell me that before, but after they did, I saw it and I didn't like it, you know, but it was true. It was like, I wanted to leave that treatment center because they put me on dishes for 2 weeks in a row.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, that was me though. I was always trying to find like any excuse. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm,
An excuse.
she goes, why do you think the rules don't apply to you? And I'm like, cause they don't, you know? But even in that thinking, cause I really thought that.
Yeah.
And it was just, I had to face that. And, you know, through step work, you get to see your character defects on
Yeah.
paper. Like you see the patterns. There's no denying it. And that showed up a lot. Pride, arrogance, entitlement showed up a lot.
How do you balance your edgy creative side with your spiritual journey?
Ooh. That's an interesting question. Well, can you elaborate more?
Do you think you have an edgy creative side?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have a spiritual journey.
Yes.
How do you balance them? Or do they go hand in
I
hand?
feel like they go hand in hand. I don't feel like they work against each other. Because God is so big to me that like there's room to be anything,
Yeah.
you know, and to be myself and still believe in God and feel, you know, God's presence. So
What's the one message you hope every woman hears when they listen to your story?
you know, I know there's like a lot of women out there who have been through a lot of the stuff I went through in addiction and a lot of things that bring us shame, like, you know, the escorting and all of that stuff. And I just want, you know, other women who have been through that to know that, you know, it's okay and they're not alone and you can move forward and you can move past that and you can actually like yourself again. You know, I do like who I am today. It took me so long to get there, but I'm finally there, you know?
Tell me about Namaste. That's your sober living.
Yes.
And what inspired you to start that, open it? Is it a women's house? Is it a men's house? What is it?
So it's a women's house.
Where is it located?
It's in West Hills, California.
Okay.
So I have two partners, and one of them has been my high school friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like we used to use together.
Yeah.
And she has many, many years sober now.
Okay.
I think she's like at 11. Her and my other partner had opened. They had, I think, 4 other houses at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt so inspired by them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, would you guys be willing to, you know, open up another house with
Okay.
me? And the fact that they trusted me so early on in recovery, like, meant a lot, you know. And
You must have been really serious about your recovery.
yeah. So we opened up Namaste, and we kind of did a play on words, like Namaste Sober Forever.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
cool.
So it's all women, which I believe is like the best way because it's very distracting to
Yeah.
be around the opposite sex, you know.
Mhm.
I just want to give these women like a safe place, place where they feel like they can like open up and just truly like recover. And it's been really, really a unique experience getting to be on the other side. And it took me a little while to adjust to get there because I was so used to being the client.
Yeah.
And being a defiant client. And now I'm like, I love God and I love recovery, and you know what I mean? They're just so opposite. And it's funny because I see some of them women and they remind me so much of myself, and I can see like the manipulation. And I'm like, that's not going to fly. Because I know, I did the same thing.
Do you have a good manager that can decipher that?
We have an amazing manager.
Do you go through there a lot? Like to go check on them?
Yeah, so we do like a big book study Monday nights. I usually attend that. But I've been trying to bring more, to the house lately. Like I've been trying to incorporate, like I've been having breathwork, a breathwork instructor.
Good.
We're going to be doing some outings with the women in the next few weeks. Hurricane Harbor. I'm planning like an escape room and.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, and then there's another event I really would like to take them to. They've gone before. It's called Mind Travel. You've been to it?
No.
It's this guy. He plays a grand piano on the beach, on the sand. It's so cool.
He has the piano down there?
Yes, on the sand.
How the hell?
I don't know how they bring it out there, but they do. And they have like all these like sunflowers like in the sand around it. It's very like beautiful, And,
I want to go to that.
Yeah, so it's like everyone has headphones, and the music goes to the headphones.
And you're down there at the beach?
Yeah, and you can walk down to the water, and it goes all the way down there, and he's playing this beautiful, like, music, and there's a theme to each one, joy, freedom, like, I think another one was, like, just love. He picks a different one.
Wow.
And he'll speak on the topic while he plays.
That's so cool.
And it's beautiful because it romanticizes life, right? You hear this music, and you're, like, looking at all these people. You'll see like I remember I saw a woman, she was pregnant, she was standing by the water just holding her belly, like looking at the water. Or you'll see like a dad playing with his kid, like kissing them and like and you hear the music playing and it feels like you're in a movie. It's really a unique experience.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. So usually I would end it right here, but I gotta talk about something real quick.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting how we met. Because we didn't really meet. And I know you've been sober for 3 years, and I spend a lot of time in LA. I live in LA part-time, but not that much as I used to. I'm in Orange County a lot more. But suddenly I got a friend request. I think either you gave it to me or I gave it to you. I don't know. We became friends on Facebook, and I was like, oh, who's she? And I didn't know if you were Persian or what you were. A name like Jessy doesn't really sound Persian.
No.
But anyway, then all of a sudden we got invited to this event by Fausto.
Yeah.
And I still didn't know that that's the person. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah.
I was talking to your boyfriend, and we were there, and we were both speakers. And I think I went right before you. So obviously, like I will always say that I'm Persian and growing up here, all that stuff. Then, like they said, oh, we have another Persianist. I'm like, where? And you were like all gimped out, sitting right by me with one leg like. Incapacitated, whatever. And all of a sudden you went up there and you shared, and the next thing you know, we developed this conversation, and we got to get you on the podcast. But like I have thoroughly enjoyed there was many reasons I love what we talked about today. For one, I want to think you're not a traditional Persian girl, because although you only know like a few words, like what was the one you told me the other day? Pedasai. Okay. You still are Persian, because the same expectations probably were going on in your household as they were in my household. And the secret of being, even though your mom was not Persian, like being secretive about addiction and lifestyle and all that stuff. But the fact that you got out of all that just, it matters so much to me for many reasons. Like I have a family member, and we'll just say family members right now that are really caught up in a lifestyle that it could kill them, right? And so you inspire me, and it really means a lot to me that you came today and talked. Like I didn't want to stop. I don't want to stop because it's so good. But you're a fucking miracle, a straight up miracle. And also, I love that you were so deep in it for so long. Being an IV user and things like that, you never know like what the future is. There's no future in it. Like you're either going to get a bunch of diseases or you're going to end up dying, right? And so for you to break out of that, have that realization off of one OD and then decide, no, I'm doing different. No, I'm not going to get high this time. No. And then just to hear like how you develop this relationship with God, I understand it. Like it very similar here. Like but just to have you come out and talk with us today and see who you are, like you're a powerful force.
Thank you.
You're really a great lady. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. I deal with a lot of the Iranian community. I actually have an Iranian family support group that I do with many families from across America.
Oh, wow.
And some of their kids go through our houses, my men's house, my women's house. But over the years, the guy that got me sober was Siamak Afshar, Sia, and he died. God rest his soul 2 years ago. He's my greatest mentor in the beginning. I watched a lot of Persian women come through his place. Not many stayed sober.
No.
Not many stayed in recovery. A lot of women dads will hit me up and say, my daughter's this and that, and they're so caught up. It's hard. Even when we get close to bringing them into recovery, they somehow always work their way out. And some of them will come into recovery and test the waters they won't stay sober. They just won't. And I
wonder why.
I think there's a lot of cultural stuff. I think that BPD runs rampant in our community, not just with women. I think with men too, because of many of the cultural expectations or upbringings of the family systems really like convoluted. Iranian style family systems, codependency, all of it just goes hand in hand and like ruining a person's spirit straight up. Like that's, but to see like, and something I really felt through all this that I really loved is that you always loved your dad and you always loved your mom, no matter what. And we would always seek their approval. I really related to that. We wanted to seek their approval, but when we felt like we weren't enough to what they probably wanted us to be, we would go polar opposite, like way down.
That's so spot on.
Way down the rabbit
so
hole
spot on.
and just rebel for no good reason, right? Because we're already being secretive. It's not like they know that we're fucking our lives up completely, right? But it's just that way. So, I mean, you're a miracle. Seriously, we made it. We made it out, right? And so, I'd like to learn more about Namaste. I'd like to learn more about you. And I think we have a lot more to work on in the future.
Yeah.
Like I see us speaking places.
Yeah, no, me too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you coming on the show. This was like one of the best, seriously, one of the best episodes.
that.
So thank you.